There's a lot of confusion right now about all these moratoriums, the beginning of one, the end of another one, and it's a really confusing time because people don't know what is really going on. Is there a moratorium? Is there not a moratorium? I'm going to tell you right now that I did a video on this involving tenants. Now, this particular video we're going to talk about involves homeowners. Now, I'm going to tell you that there is a ghost moratorium out there, actually 3 of them, that affect homeowners. So there are protections directed to homeowners. We just don't hear much about them because they're not as big, popular, and publicly known as the big moratorium, which is the one that people are fighting about in the Supreme Court. Now, there's a lot of people who are in a homeowner situation that are very afraid of foreclosure. They are in forbearance and they're afraid that when they come out of forbearance, they're immediately going to go in foreclosure because the bank's not going to help them. Now, there are moratoriums, there are rules, there are laws, things that have been passed in the last few months that are designed to avoid this situation. But what we're going to talk about right now is a secret set of behind the scenes moratoriums that you haven't heard about but are out there protecting you as you're coming out of forbearance to make sure the banks don't attack you and immediately put your property in foreclosure. So, my name is Diego Mendez. I'm a foreclosure loan modification and real estate litigation attorney here in Miami, Florida. I've been doing this kind of law for many, many years, actually since 2008. I was around during the last crash and I saw a lot of the foreclosures, a lot of things that could have been avoided. I'm seeing that the government has stepped up their game and have done new things here that are designed to slow down foreclosures and to make sure that there isn't a wave of foreclosures so that the banks can manage the process and maybe give loan modifications or other programs to help people stay in their homes. I am dealing with this in my practice directly with people and also researching all this information for you in these YouTube videos. So if you like my videos, the only thing I want from you is for you to like the video, of course, subscribe to my channel, but also turn on the notifications, because by turning on the notifications, you get notified when I do a new video. And you never know, the next video I do might be the one that talks about the program that affects you directly and the one that might help you save your home. So please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We're gonna talk about the ghost moratoriums in about 10 seconds. So what I've called the ghost moratorium, it's not something that you're gonna Google ghost moratorium and you're gonna get any information. That's something I came up with, something that I call what we're gonna talk about right now. There's something called the 3 ghost moratoriums made up by me, Diego Mendez, but that I think prove the point and explain the point that we're gonna talk about. Basically, there are things that the banks have done either directly or indirectly, being forced to do it or by themselves, that are delaying foreclosures. Now, these programs are not really something that you're going to really understand, you're going to be able to find out about, but you might. Some of them are actually publicly known, but we're going to group them together in something that I'm going to call the ghost moratorium. Now, the first thing are self-imposed foreclosure moratoriums. Many banks, and I've seen this because I go to court often and I do these different motions to stop sales, and I hear other banks and other attorneys argue this. A lot of times the banks say to the judges, we are doing a self-imposed moratorium. They are not foreclosing for whatever reason. The banks have made a decision, and many times, not to start new foreclosures or not to move forward old foreclosures because they want to either try to work something out with the homeowners or do something else. Now, this did not exist before. I can tell you that I fought hundreds, maybe thousands of foreclosure cases that where we go to the bank, we go to the judge says, well, why don't you give them a chance? And the bank says, nope, we're no more chances, we want to foreclose, and that many times the house goes into foreclosure. So the fact that the banks are doing a self-imposed moratorium on foreclosures is a big deal. You should take advantage of that. If you're in a foreclosure situation or if you are in a default situation, make sure you communicate with your bank because they might have something for you that you don't even know about. The second ghost moratorium are the government agents, the government-backed mortgages, FHA, VA, Freddie and Fannie, Mac and May, the USDA. All of these programs have their self-imposed moratoriums that they're delaying, imposing new foreclosures, starting new foreclosures because they are the government is telling them, HUD and directly the White House is telling them, do not foreclose on these people, try to modify. All of those different entities have their own self-imposed foreclosure moratoriums that are helping people stay in their homes. It's not going to be forever, folks. None of this is forever. These moratoriums, like ghosts, disappear eventually. But, right now, in August of 2021, there's a good chance that you can get a loan modification or some workout because the banks are open to it. I guarantee you, in August of 2022, we're not going to be having this conversation. We're going to be having a very different conversation, which involves how do you stop a foreclosure. So be sure to be working with your bank now so you're not in that situation. The last group of people, the last ghost moratorium that I'm going to be talking about, and I did a whole video right here on this, is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is a little known entity that is part of the federal government that has passed a rule change that says no brand new foreclosures until January 1st, 2022, unless they try to modify or do some loss mitigation work with you. This is a blanket foreclosure moratorium involving all mortgages. This is a pretty big deal. You have to take advantage of this. The point of all this stuff we're talking about is communicate with your bank, because if you communicate with your bank, there's a very good chance that you're going to be able to do something to save your home. If you are not in an active foreclosure right now, it is unlikely you're going to get a new foreclosure until next year. So take these next few months. We don't have a lot of time. We're in August, September, October, November, December. That's 4 months. 4 months, folks, for you to go out there and engage with the bank and try to resolve your forbearance, your post-forbearance default situation so that you're not dealing with a foreclosure in 2022. Remember, the banks really don't have to do anything for you. All of these things encourage the banks to do loan modifications or other workouts with you, but there's nothing forcing that. You have to understand that. The loss mitigation that the bank can do with you, the loan modifications, are not mandated, at least not yet. I mean, I think there might be some of that coming for, there is some of that with FHA, something close to a mandate where they have to give you something, but it's not 100% mandated with the other entities, or if you have a private mortgage, with about 40% of the people in the United States have a non-government backed mortgage. There's no mandate for any kind of loan modification, to give you a loan modification with those entities. There's a mandate with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to try to give you a loan modification or some sort of workout with what you owe, but there's no mandate that forces them to give you anything. So you have to understand that when you're dealing with these banks, many times they are dealing out of whatever corporate responsibility statement that they have or whatever they're trying to do, but there isn't a mandate. They don't have to give you the loan modification unless it's an FHA in very specific situations. So maybe that will change in the future, but for now, that's what we're dealing with. Again, my name is Diego Mendez. I'm a bankruptcy, loan modification, real estate litigation lawyer here in Miami, Florida. I've been doing this since the last crash, so I've seen a lot of this stuff. I've represented thousands of people in these situations, bankruptcies and directly in foreclosure litigation, as well as direct negotiations with banks for loan modifications. So I know what I'm talking about in terms of this stuff. I also research a lot of this for my channel here, Debt Law, Survival Guide for the Desperate Debtor, so that I can bring you the most up-to-date information as it comes out. If you like my videos, which I hope you do, I would very much want you to like it, but I also want you to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications, because like I said, I spend a lot of time and energy on these videos so that I can bring you the latest information and bring you information that's useful for you to save your home. Again, thank you very much for your time. I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope that all of these programs and all this information helps you save your home and come out of this financial situation better than you were before. Thanks a lot. Till the next time.